and gentlemen, welcome to Sync 24 TV, the nationalist show with Kennedy Abong. Tonight, our topic is how Luos helped Ruto win the presidency. The approach to answering that topic or analyzing it, we are going to have a Q&A. There are several questions that have been posed or been sent to my friend and colleague who will help me host this show, Jacob Amos. So as it comes, please subscribe, click that notification bell so that you're notified whenever we post. So to my friend and colleague, Jacob Amos, he can also introduce himself so that you know him better.
Yes,
Jacob.
well, as you've heard, I'm Jacob Amos. Today is hosting me here because a lot of questions are still rife out there in concern how pertaining to the general elections that we just held. So some people are still living in denial, especially the Azimio supporters. And we want to help these people put this to rest. There are a lot of questions from the registration back in, was it early this year or last year?
No, early this year.
Early this year.
Yes.
All the way to the Supreme Court.
Yes.
So one of the questions that is out there that we have to ask ourselves, at least so that we can get to know how Luos helped President-elect Ruto to win these elections. Top of the questions, my friend, is did Luos really register enough to be able to get to these elections?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. As you all know, what elections is about numbers. So any candidate who is seeking to capture the presidency, you have to ensure that your backyard registers.
Yes, you mobilize.
Yes, exactly. Yes. But we have a situation where, and I believe a lot of you, our viewers, can remember Honorable Raila Odinga castigating some of
Luo MPs,
yes, for just playing or squabbling instead of mobilizing people to come out and register. He did that particularly in Alego Usonga. It gives you the picture that our leaders, mainly in Luoland, did not really push for voter registration.
Yes.
And that is the first point of war. When that register came out eventually, it showed clearly that we did not attain the number of registered voters as targeted by IEBC. And that was very critical because for us, we had a candidate who was on the ballot.
Yes,
so it was really incumbent upon us to really come out and go there and vote, so that a lot of our young people, mainly, who were coming in to vote for the first time, they had to be incentivized so that they have a reason to come out and register, and not only that, to also vote eventually. The starting point would have been registration. And I think we should borrow a leaf from Central Kenya.
Yeah, those people really know how to mobilize.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because they come out, their leaders not only do that, but people, including
themselves,
those who are not gunning for
seats. They just offer to take
people to areas so that they can register and vote.
Yeah.
Some of them even sell their properties so that they could help in
the larger cause.
Exactly. We saw one of these people. I think there was one person who sold his in 2013. He sold his vehicles.
So that he could facilitate other people to vend.
So in that, we don't see those things in our area.
So it was a communal thing.
For them, it is a communal thing. For them, because
their man was at the ballot and they really wanted to take the
exactly.
Yes.
You don't see such kind of push when it comes to Luo Nyanza, and I was not really surprised when Right Honorable Raila Odinga on that day castigated Luo MPs for just squabbling instead of pushing people.
Especially, it was fair enough to point out Alego Usonga MP.
Yes,
Honorable Atandi. A potential of about 200,000 votes.
Yes.
So and how many did they register?
They did about 100 and I think 120. Yes, meaning at least 30,000 people did not register. So you see, that is the starting point.
That is the first line of duty.
You're already missing on at least 30,000 voters, new voters who did not come on to vote. So that was a critical thing.
That is
compared to what was happening in other areas,
in other
especially
areas.
on Ruto's side.
When even Ruto tried,
they really tried.
They really came out and registered to vote.
Yes.
And what about translating the votes? After registering, there's now coming out to vote. Did we come out to vote?
Again, this is now where I think we need to now reflect as a community whether we did come out to vote. You see, I've always called upon our people that we need to reflect. Before we point fingers at others for failing us, we need to also sit down and find out whether we contributed to our own failure.
Yeah.
So that it can make us, understand the bigger picture, the spectrum of it. So let me just give you a bit of statistics.
Yes.
A bit of statistics per county. You see, for instance, Kisumu registered voters.
Well, that is major. This is majorly targeting Nyanza region.
Nyanza region, the 4 Luo counties.
Okay.
Yes, so that people can understand this better. Kisumu County has 606,754 voters. That's a big number.
That is a big number.
The people who voted were about 420,000.
So about 200,000 did not come out to vote.
About 180, yes. 180 did not come out to vote.
That is quite a number.
Yeah. You see, and then now Homa Bay again. Homa Bay registered voters were about 551,071 voters. How many came out to vote? 399,000 came out to vote. Again,
then
if you
over 100,000 votes.
Over 100,000. Actually, over 150,000 people
did not come
out to vote. Go to Siaya again. Siaya, there were about 533,595 registered voters. How many came out to vote? 371,000 people came out to vote.
Appalling, huh?
Meaning 160,000 people did not come out to vote in this region. Now to Migori. Migori, we had about, I think, 469,000 registered voters, and then only 294 came out to vote. Again, if you get the difference, over 170,000 people.
Is this a failure on the side of our leaders, or is it a failure on the side of the civilians?
This is a failure on the side of our leaders. And I must state, because we have to create this picture. Before I tackle that, just get this, that if you add the number, then at least, that is the very least, at least 600,000 and 60,000 people did not vote.
And what was the margin? President-elect Ruto won by what margin?
President-elect Ruto won by about 233,000 votes. And here is a candidate whose region fails to...
600,000 is equivalent to Kisumu County vote. So it's like Kisumu County did not come out to vote.
Yes.
Gentlemen.
If you catch it like that.
This is not... We are not serious as Luos. We didn't want to win these elections. If a whole county cannot come out to vote, because 600,000 votes left, they didn't come out to vote, which is equivalent to Kisumu County's total number of
and you see,
registered voters.
You don't also capture the seriousness of it.
Yes.
Because you see, these are people who registered in Nyanza. So there was no aspect of security, or that there could be some fear that there could be war or somebody would beat you.
So they were just there. They were at home.
They were at home. They just decided, no, I'm not going to vote. You see, and then there are others who who registered in other regions, and then on the voting day decided to go home, back home because of fear of election violence, especially in Rift Valley. There were a lot of Luos in Rift Valley, in Eldoret, who did not vote for fear of violence.
So they registered in those places, but fear of violence, they had to go back. Yes.
So it leaves you to wonder, why then did you register
in that place? Yes, because
Because if you thought, okay, there would be violence, why did you register there? You see, so that is an aspect. So the question you asked me was whether this is a failure on the part of our leaders.
Yeah.
I can tell you for a fact that it is. Right now, they are trying to blame everybody else. They are calling on President Uhuru Kenyatta for failing to deliver. They don't realize that for the first time in the history of this nation, Kikuyus voted for Raila 25%.
Which is quite a number, considering he's been scoring, he's been getting about 5% or 2%. Yeah.
Yes. But now, for the first time, he got over 25%.
That was a plus.
That was a big plus. That was a big plus.
Yes.
And then now we are crying foul when in fact we are the ones who
we
have
let
failed
ourselves down.
our leader. So this is a failure of our leaders. Again, I'm just really, I have to make this comparison so that people can understand that we did not want this thing.
We did not want to
win this.
We didn't want to win the elections.
We did not want to win this election. And
or in other words, we wanted we badly wanted Ruto to win the election.
Either we badly wanted Ruto to win the election, or there are some of our leaders who never had the best interest of Raila Odinga
at heart. You see, I think I can agree to that.
Yes, because if you look at, again, Central, in 2013, you could remember when people were voting, so many of their leaders, offered their public service vehicle to carry people at home, to offer that transport and to offer that security, so that they can find it easier to go home and vote. And also they guaranteed their return back to the city. You see, so we don't see us doing that.
We don't offer.
In fact, we were acting more like people who were supporting another candidate. Look at Kambas, for instance. Kambas hit about 67% voter turnout. You see, and then Luos hit about 71.
Was it 70 or 71?
About 70, 71. You see, so it tells you, it's like Kambas were more serious about our own election than we are about ourselves.
Yes.
So what if Kalonzo now will stand in 2027? You'll see the number of Kambas
who will vote will be much higher.
Yes. All we needed to do in this election would have been between 85 to 90%
in our stronghold, especially from Nyanza.
If you take let us take 2/3 of that number, 666. 2/3 of it is 440,000 votes. That is at the very least. So if you take that 440,000 votes and give Ruto, because Ruto cannot get more than 2% of it, give him even about 1,000 votes out of
that
it.
1/3, yes.
And then give Raila the rest. The man is home and dry. He's president-elect.
Well, so we get to our next question here. Was Raila played by Uhuru Kenyatta?
Well, I don't think so.
We saw this tweet by Babu Owino. I felt it's quite... Well, you give us your take.
I think I'm going back to the problem that Luos have as a community, and also our leaders. Having failed the Luo community, our leaders having failed us, do not want now to face the problem. You see, so we have to have somebody to blame. In 2013, it was someone. In 2017, it was another person. In 2022, now that we had the system, because in 2013 we blamed the system.
We claimed that we didn't have the system.
Yes, we claimed we didn't have the system. The system gave them a vifaranga of their computer.
Yes.
We had to blame someone.
In
this particular one, we felt, Uhuru did not, use the system, or we are now blaming Uhuru Kenyatta for the failures which we should have really avoided. So for me, if a person can give you all that state machinery, you are organize your campaigns quite well, everything you could think of.
I even remember one time his own mother came out and asked Central people
yes.
to go and vote for Raila.
Which was
could his mother stick out her head and urge their people to go and vote for Raila, if at all Uhuru was not supporting?
No, I don't think so. I believe that they genuinely supported the candidature of Raila Amolo Odinga. They wanted Raila to win, but you see, things happen.
Yes.
As I said, politics is dynamic, and politics again is black and white. It is never in the shades of gray.
Yes.
So it is what you see.
It's what you are seeing.
Yes.
It supported Raila.
So some of the reasons why you find our people make these claims are also very funny. just because Ruto went to State House and he
Today.
was received.
Yeah, a lot of people are saddened by that. We wonder what they wanted the president to do. The president is the symbol of national unity. He just want to leave that office, and he already told us that he's going out, and he'll attend the inauguration, and he'll hand over power smiling.
Yes.
So what did our people want the president to do?
You see, that is now the big question.
I
wonder whether they wanted him to, to chase President-elect Ruto from. So I think we are concentrating on the wrong areas.
We should focus on ourselves.
We need
and
to
we
focus
should
on ourselves. We need to reflect. Yes.
As an advocate,
yes.
Do you believe that judgment by the Supreme Court was fair, if at all there's something like fair?
Okay, I think I have to address this, particularly with respect to the videos that I did before. There is one video where we talk about how the scrutiny report was going to help Ruto more than Raila. And then there is also another one I think we did about that Azimio just didn't have the evidence. I think that is those two. If you watch those two, then you realize why the court ruled the way it ruled. More so, I also spoke about in one of those videos about the politics of judging.
Yes.
This is where you just consider, whether or not...
minus the evidence you are considering.
Yes. Could the judges help or massage this thing one way or another? You see, so that to favor
you consider, you look at their inclinations towards certain candidates or their likely inclination.
Yes. So if you look at that, then you'd find Raila had 5 on his side. I don't want to go to the names. That is a discussion I think we did in one of the videos. But you already had 5 minus the evidence. But now the evidence come in, and even those 5 could not be convinced. You see,
they could not be convinced.
You could not be convinced
out of the 9 prayers.
The 9 prayers.
Yes.
Because the first things first, the scrutiny report came and it found no problem with technology, and then the numbers, the recount also showed that all the numbers tallied. So you see, there is no way you could, even if they wanted to help, they could not help him.
Because the margin was so small.
The margin was so
about
small.
0.45, 0.46 or 45.
They only needed to, because they had passed 50 plus 1 by about 69,000 votes.
69,000.
So they only needed to get at least 70,000 of irregularity.
To knock off that 0.46 and then they could have their rerun.
Yes, but that did not happen. They just didn't have the evidence.
That is quite sad.
I don't think the judges ruled in, or are biased towards Ruto. I think it was a good judgment.
It was a good judgment.
Yes.
So, what is your advice to the Luo nation? Okay, Azimio supporters, but especially the Luo nation, because they are the ones who we still see really struggling. A lot of us are still avoiding, even watching news. They don't want to see President-elect Ruto. What is your advice to them?
Okay. This is now the most I feel for our people. I must start by saying so that I really feel for our people and I share in their pain. But having said that, I am a person who believes in learning in difficult situations. There is this thing that we are trying to propound, that we are victims of a bad system, and we are victims of conmanship. We are victims of everything you can think of. Victims of Chebukati.
And trying to box other tribes into a corner that... So if you don't vote for a Luo candidate, especially Raila, now you hate all Luos.
Exactly, you see, which is quite bad. It's like if you don't vote, and then the notion that if you don't vote for Raila, then you're not democratic.
Then you're not democratic.
Yes, it's
like Raila is the yardstick with which we used to measure democracy.
Which I think we should avoid.
Yes.
The first thing the community must do is not to rush and try to apportion blame to others. And I'm calling upon our people and upon our leaders. I see very senior advocates like
Orengo and Otiende, when they were attending some burial and they had the audacity to come and castigate the CJ about some word that she used.
Exactly.
Yes.
So you see, in as much as the words were quite
harsh,
harsh, but I don't think it is important to give our people hope where hope is now. It is important that we tell our people the truth and in fact to prepare them for the future.
Yes.
This is already gone. We cannot spend a lot of time lamenting about spilt milk. This is spilled. how are we going to now stand up and move forward? I think I don't want to suggest to the community and to the leadership of the community how that would happen, but I believe the best place to start is to sit down, reflect, and I believe they will find a solution on how to drive the interest of the community going forward.
Well, thanks a lot. That is all that I had for you today.
Thank you very much, Jacob.
You'll have to release me when I'm going out.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Jacob. Oh, so that is Jacob. Those are the question that he sought to pose for us today. And I think we have tackled them, as you can see. And I believe you now understand that the greatest enemies of Raila Odinga are the Luo MPs who surrounded him and who could not mobilize, and even after that, after failing to mobilize, they also failed to ensure that people came out to vote. Thank you very much for watching. Do subscribe and share these videos. Also leave your comment. We would want to know what kind of questions also you'd want us to tackle going forward. Thank you very much.